Well, hi there, thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. Jose Quiñones, the CNC dude here. And today I want to talk about fly cutters. Why? Let me show you. I am here today on my new project table, cheapo Sears project table. And what I have with me is a piece of aluminum that I acquired yesterday on my most recent trip to the metal store. And this came from a bin labeled clearance aluminum, 125 per pound. A 125 per pound, that's something I couldn't let go. So I basically hustled up 30 pounds of aluminum, and that came to $37.50. Hardly ever you walked out with so much aluminum for so little. But this part here caught my attention. It's a good chunk of aluminum, so I'm certain there is plenty of parts that can be done here. But it's a pretty mess up shape. I mean, definitely we're gonna have to remove some material from all of the surfaces before we're gonna get anything done here. And I thought this would be a tremendous opportunity to talk about fly cutters, because as it turns out, if we're gonna remove a chunk of basically a little layer from all of these surfaces, we wouldn't want to use something like this, would we? I mean, something like a 1/4 inch mill going through here. Boy, that's gonna take a while. Now you want to use something bigger. I don't know. Let's see what we have here. Maybe something like this. Wow, that's a manly mill. I guess we can call this a face mill. Yeah, this would take less amount of time. Or check this too. Man, these are monstrous mills. Rest assured that I have never used anything like this, because I mean, this has a chunk of 1 3/8. This one is a 1 3/8, so that's 1.375 inches. There is no way I can put this on my machine. In fact, none of the milling machines that I have ever owned would have been able to accept something like this. So they're great souvenirs, and I don't know, maybe I can use them as projectiles on the zombie apocalypse. Yes, I have signed up into the zombie apocalypse because there are so many idiots out there thinking that the zombie apocalypse is gonna happen, which is ridiculous, but oh well. Here is another one. Man, I just love looking at this stuff. Look at this. Holy! What do you build with these? Transformers? And by that I mean the mighty robots that turn into cars. This is some serious end mill. Yeah, we could use something like this to face this material, but not really. That's not what we would use. For most practical purposes, we would use a face mill, of course. But it's called face mill because we're gonna face with it. And here is a face mill. This is a face. Actually, most face mills like this would use inserts. Okay, so these are the inserts here, and the beauty of the inserts is twofold. One, you can actually rotate this guy whenever this side becomes blunt, and or not sharp. I'm not certain if blunt is the antonym of sharp. Hopefully it is. But anyway, you can rotate these guys. So you have basically three cutting surfaces per insert. Which, by the way, inserts are free and expensive, so you really want them to last as much as possible. But also, if they break, you can just replace them, so you don't have to throw the whole thing, which will be quite devastating. Like if you mess this up, you may be able to resharpen it, but you will basically have lost some of its life, and there is really not much you can do. Like if you mess this up really bad, that's it, it's gone. And I don't know how much something like this is, but I'm under the impression this would have not been $10. I'm thinking it would have been more, I don't know, 150 bucks, something ridiculous. I've seen mills which are so pricey, I'm like, seriously? Why on earth? But then again, we come back to the same fact that I have repeated over and over. This is not something you go to Walmart and say, hey, give me half a dozen, right? It's super specialized. The number of people on this planet buying them is super small. Pretty much only professional shops and tinkerers like you and me. But you know, if decades from now we have a maker movement that is so ridiculously insane in the number of people, then maybe everybody is buying stuff like this, and then you can go to Walmart and get Target. Okay, so this is a face mill, and you know, a face mill would have solved my problem, but not really, because there is no easy way to mount this into my machine. And by no easy way, I mean no easy way, because there is a way. I can actually screw this into my machine. This is an R8 collet, and the Tormac PCNC 1100 is R8 collet base. So I shouldn't be complaining. The problem is that I have already installed the power drawbar, which means that you really don't use the power drawbar as a means to screw in collets. Basically, you have a single collet, and by using the DTS tool system, you just push in and out. And there is a single collet that grabs this guy, and then there is a spring on top that pushes the drawbar, and now the collet opens up, and that's how this guy comes loose. So to disassemble the entire thing just so that I can put this guy, I assure you it's not gonna happen. So this was fun to have, and you know, they're pricey. They are like $100 and something. You know, once you factor in the inserts and the collet and everything else, the head, I don't know, I'm thinking 100 and something, 150 maybe, if at all. And that is on the pricey side. I think you can get them for $100. By the way, this is the cheapo import. If you want the real deal, it could be over $1,000 easy, okay? Like the head alone could be $1,000, and I have seen that on that price. Obviously, I'm talking industrial stuff. So what's the solution? I cannot use this. I do not want to use this. What can I do? Well, that's why I wanted to talk about fly cutters. Bam! I have two sets here, not because I need two sets, not because I use two sets, but just because I once bought a set. And then one day I bought a lot with a bunch of tooling, and as a bonus, there was a brand new spanking fly cutter set. You know, these are fairly easy to make, and I bought this, of course, but you can easily make this, and I see a lot of people making fly cutters on their lathe. There is really not a lot to this. I mean, it's basically a shank, right? And then this is cylindric here, and then you have to cut a groove. And the only important thing that we have to keep in mind is that this side of the cutter, let me go to closer to the camera. And this is based on what I've read. It's not like I'm an expert on this. But the only important thing about this is that this side of the cutter, in other words, that line right here has to be at the center, okay? So your center of this diameter here is that line. This line is going to the center. It cannot be skewed because that wouldn't work very well. I'm not certain what breaks. Excuse me. Not certain what breaks when you shift it. I don't think it's because it's gonna get unbalanced, because to be honest, this stuff is already unbalanced by nature. I mean, there is no way to make a fly cutter that is balanced, because by nature you're having something poking out, okay? So balancing is not the issue. I think it has to do with the fact that if you put it outside, now the radius of the cut is not what you want, and maybe obviously the balance gets even worse. But that's the only thing that I know is crucial about making a fly cutter, is that the line, this surface here, has to be the line on the center of the circle. Now, the way that this works, obviously right now these are retracted because they are literally, this is how they come maybe on a bag with oil, but this is how they come on the when you buy them. So, and by the way, these are like 20 to 30 bucks, I think. They are not that expensive, so I don't even know why I would waste my time making a fly cutter when you can buy this so cheaply, and it comes with a tool that you can grind and you know, use. let me grab a key and we will take a look at how this works here. Okay, I have my 2.5 millimeter hex key here, and I'm gonna loosen. There are 3 screws, and the reason why you want 3 screws is because you don't want to use just one. One would be too little, and then you have vibration. But you know, in order to clean up a lot of material, you want your radius or your effective diameter to be as big as possible. So what you can do is move your tool. You can also use longer tools if you have them. And you know, at this point in time, maybe you're thinking, wow, man, that is gonna be so unstable. My machine is fall apart. All of the debris is gonna fly like bullets and mulch me. Yeah, it looks dangerous like hell, but you know, I've seen even more unstable stuff than this working mighty fine. So I guess you don't want to run this at 5,000 RPM. I mean, unless you're suicidal and you're looking for a creative way of impaling yourself to death, which by the way I don't recommend. The best technique I have found for suicide is waiting until you're like 110 years old and let nature do the work. Man, that always works. Like if you wait long enough, nature does the trick. It every single time. It doesn't fail, okay? It doesn't fail. Okay, so this is gonna go like this. Notice that my radius, or I should say my effective diameter, is way larger than I could ever hope to obtain with a with a mill. Now this is what it's called also in machine shop terminology, a single flute cutter or a single cutter, right? Because as you can see, only there is a dinky little surface here that is going to be cutting, and everything else there is nothing there, right? When you compare this to your mill, now you have 2 cutters. So as you're removing material, you have 2 flutes that are removing material. And if you look at something, there you go, like this guy, now you have, what do we have here? 6 cutters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cutters, okay? And there are reasons why you want to have more cutters than less. What I've read, I'm not an expert on this, so I'm not the ultimate scientist on this aspect, but if you want to remove material because of chip load, you want to use a bunch of cutting surfaces, okay? Because you want to remove material. So that's why you would use your face mill with 4 inserts, or if you have one with more, then you would use it with more. And the reason is that for removing large amounts of material, you will want each one of these guys taking an X amount of chip load, which is rated by the manufacturer. The manufacturer will tell you how much chip load it needs to get to be working efficiently. But for surface finish, okay, it's basically, if I want to make this look pretty, I don't want to remove the whole thing. I mean, obviously that would be ridiculous. What I want to do is remove just, I think, a little bit. So by just removing a small amount, you know, I don't know, 10 mils, 20 mils, you're gonna get way better surface finish if you use a single cutter than if you use multiple cutters. And that again comes to chip load. And there are equations on the web and all that stuff. It's just, I'm just basically telling you a super extreme summary. Now I also read, which intriguingly, you could transform this into a fly cutter if you remove 3 of the inserts. So if you just leave 1 insert, in essence this becomes a fly cutter because you only have 1 cutting surface, which is intriguing. Do know, however, that on this guy the radius will be fixed, the diameter will be fixed, whereas in this guy you can change diameter by moving the the blade in and out. By the way, you can buy like 4 of these sets by the price of 1. So if what you're looking is for surface finish, man, just get one of these, and you know, you'll have three fly cutters, depending on what is it that you want to improve on the surface finish. Now, I have been talking about all of this stuff, but as it turns out, I am not gonna use any of it, okay? I'm just showing you stuff here so that you can see what's out there in case you haven't seen it, although something tells me this is like kindergarten material. Fly cutters are extremely popular and great tools, and they're cheap. It's not like you need to wait until you sell your house to be able to buy one. Let me show you the one that I'm gonna use, and this thing is just freaking amazing, okay? Amazing. Okay, I'm not making fun of Tormek. Tormek calls it the Super Fly Cutter, and to be honest, I think it is the right name. Super Fly Cutter, because super it is. It sells for like 118 bucks, and it's very possible that I paid less than that. I don't remember, but I remember that Tormek raised its price maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Although this is not that old. I mean, this is fairly recent, so maybe I did pay 118 bucks. But even if it is 118 bucks or more, I would have bought it. This is great. This is great stuff. In fact, I only have one thing to say. If you are thinking, okay, if you are thinking about buying this, don't think it. Just do it. You won't regret it. This stuff is amazing. It uses an insert, okay, and this is actually a milling insert, which is better. It gives you better results than using this style of fly cutter, because this is not a milling tool. This is a lathe tool. And of course, you can grind it and do whatever you want. But this stuff has been designed to mill, so the results are just mind-boggling. And we're gonna take a look at how it works. The other beauty is that it's already DTS compatible, so I don't have to worry about changing stuff. I mean, this is what the machine accepts, so this is great. Now you could mount these guys on one of Tormek's TTS holders. These shanks are 1/2 inch, okay, 1/2 inch. Let's see, these are also, yeah, they're basically the same. All of these fly cutters are 1/2 inch, so you could mount it into your fly cutter, into your TTS holder. You can mount the fly cutter into a TTS holder, and this would be a much more cost-efficient solution. Basically, you will pay like, I don't know, $30-something, or is it 20-something? I don't know. So it's way less than the Super Fly Cutter, but the results you would obtain would be far inferior, because this thing is just amazing. Now, there is a little bit I have to say about the inserts. They're great inserts. They come in aluminum and I mean, I guess non-ferrous metals and then ferrous metals, and they are freaking expensive, okay? They are 15 bucks a pop. Luckily, you have 4 corners. You can rotate these 4 times and you're back in business. But if you need to buy them, they're 15 bucks a pop, or like 12 bucks if you buy the whole box. I'm gonna cheat here a little bit, and I don't mean to wipe out anybody's business, but I really didn't feel like spending 120 bucks on a box of inserts. And I went the cheap route, and I went to eBay, and I found that you can actually buy this from China. And boy, I have no idea if these are rip-offs or what. They look like the real deal, and something tells me they're the real deal. But you pay literally half, okay? That's 60, it's like 60 bucks per box versus 120 or 115, I don't remember. Free shipping. All you have to do is wait like 2 weeks. So I ordered this, boy, like a month ago, and I think it's gonna be eons before I need to order more, because it's not like, I mean, if I were running a production line, I may go maybe through all of these inserts in a couple of weeks, maybe a week if was super duper high production. But I bought this years ago. Shortly after it came out, I bought it, and this is the only insert that I have used. And the only reason why I wanted to buy more inserts was because I wanted to buy one for steel, because I didn't have the one for steel. So I could have paid 15 bucks and get me one insert, but I thought, you know what, let's just get the whole box and get stuck. We have all of our tools, or actually all I need is this, but I guess I have spoken enough about all of the possible tools that we can utilize to clean this up. Let's go to the mill and clean this up.